It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. Welcome to the best show that you'll ever know. This is Dep Lewis Show, and this is episode 23. This is your host, Dep Lewis, and today is Sunday, March 12th, 2023. Another Sunday show coming at you on the standard Dep Lewis Show schedule for you this week. So, how you doing? Good morning. Hope you had a great week out there. The springtime, or the time has sprung forward after it fell back last fall, so now it's sprung forward, so we are an hour ahead in the future. So welcome to the future. This is the future. Hopefully you are not lacking in sleep, but everyone is, because we lost an hour, so whatever. But welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the video game world. Welcome to the world of Dep Lewis. It's going to be a great episode for you today. I'll tell you about that in just a minute. But the first order of business I'd like to tell you to do is some housekeeping. So follow Dep Lewis Show everywhere. Like, subscribe, rate, comment, review, turn on notifications, and tell a friend. Email any questions or feedback to DepLewisShow@gmail.com. That email box is open 365 24/7. Full episodes of Dep Lewis Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Patreon, and more on my Buzzsprout page. Clips are on YouTube and TikTok, and those clips will be back this week, so get your eyeballs ready for some gameplay footage and some, podcast audio over the top of it. So the clips will be back this week. I'll be chopping those up after this podcast, and I am excited to have some gameplay footage out there. It was weird not having that for a week, but we'll be back. All right, so notes from last show. What did I do wrong last show? Besides give you a great podcast. I said Dead Space I'm in chapter 6 on Dead Space, not 16. I was thinking of Fire Emblem, I guess. So just wanted to call out that there are not even 16 chapters in Dead Space, so there's no way I could be on chapter 16, but I'm on chapter 6, and that's actually still where I am right now. So we'll talk about that a little bit in this first section. The first section of this show is going to be what I've been playing. So I have some good stuff there for you to talk about today. A lot of games. Even have a demo to talk about in there. And then the mid-section will be what I've been seeing. And this section will be a little light this week. I want to talk about some hardware a little bit. We have a delay that came through, so I want to talk about that. And then in the third, final section, the Miscellaneous Talk section, we're going to talk some video game podcasts I like and some podcasters and Twitchers. And then we're going to talk some sports. There's a lot of sports news. A very despicable act was done this week by one of my favorite teams. So we're going to talk about that despicable act. And I'm going to read them the riot act. I guess that's what you say. I'm going to say some really bad things about them because they stink. They made a bad decision, and I'm angry, and I'm mad, and I'm sad, and I'm upset. And I can't believe it, and I'm in shock, and I'm in disbelief. But we're going to talk about that in the third section. I'm going to get through this fun video game stuff. And then we're going to talk about some sports and how a team did me so dirty, did one of my guys so dirty. So we'll see. We'll talk about that in the final section. So please look forward to that, especially if you're a fan of the sports talk. So just welcome to the show today, everyone. Hope you're doing great out there. So we are going to get it started. We're going to start off this episode 23 with what I've been playing. And I just want to mention in this first thing, I want to say Fire Emblem Engage. I have not played that last week. I'm still stuck on chapter 18. That guy named Lyndon kicked my ass, and I think it's appropriate. I read a series called Cradle by Will White, and Wei Shay Lyndon is the main character of that book, and he's amazing, and he kicks ass, so I should have known that was a sign when I got into chapter 18 and saw Lyndon, that I stood no chance, but there's just been a lot of stuff to play recently, so Fire Emblem Engage is taking a little bit of a back seat, so we're not going to talk too much about that today, but I just want to let you know that that's where I'm still at, and if you get to 18, watch out for Lyndon, because he is a superpower. Or he has superpowers. He's a superhero. He's insane. So watch out for Lyndon in chapter 18 of the Fire Emblem Engage. Okay, so the next game I've been playing this week is some Dead Space Remake. I've been playing a little bit of this. I've actually started a newer game, so these first two have been taking a little bit of a backseat, but I'm still on chapter 6. I think it's still one of the coolest areas in the game. It's the horticulture area. The live audio talking to a person, the room with all the plants in it, and the enemies is so fun. Everyone's trying to tell me to get out of here, but there's also a big problem to be solved in this horticulture area. They want me to kill these, this giant monster, and now they got me injecting the Weezers, which are people that have been, infected or something, and now they are causing,
the air and everything around their certain area to be disrupted and gross and, uninhabitable. So I'm going through these rooms and I'm punching these Weezers. I'm stabbing them or I'm doing something to them that kills them basically and then ends their suffering, which is what the lady on the comm system told me she wanted to happen. And then it's clearing the air so you can actually proceed through the area. So this area has been really cool. It has been a little more exploratory than the previous chapter, which was what I was hoping. But there's also a lot of enemies in this area, and you gotta do some running around and some scrambling and looking for environmental stuff, and it's been really fun. Chapter 6 has been a main highlight of this game. I've been booting this game up just every so often and playing a little bit and making a little progress and hitting save because this game is scary. And I'm now in a room right now where I'm having to use my turbos and turbo jets and fly up, and I couldn't find the entrance. That's where I ended last night. But Dead Space Remake is possibly, I don't know, thinking about the top 10 games of the year. Fire Emblem had a really good head start, but I think this Dead Space may be a little bit more of a slower burn and of excitement and how much I'm liking it. So I don't know. I think the number one spot is a little bit in contention, and I don't know if I have a definitive choice between those two games yet. But I think they're both very fun, and maybe I'm giving Dead Space a little bit of the edge here is what I'm saying. So either way, I can highly recommend them. If you have any questions about wanting to play the Dead Space remake, I think you should totally do it. I heard on a podcast this week. I guess the Dead Space devs or the Dead Space account on Twitter, somebody related to Dead Space was putting feelers out there if the community would like Dead Space 2 or 3 remade, or to have work done to them. And I think that answer is probably going to be a resounding yes, especially for people that this is their first time playing Dead Space. They're going to automatically want to go play the next games if they complete this first one. You can still you can go buy them right now if you'd like to. Dead Space 2 is on Game Pass, I believe, and 3. So if you have Game Pass, you can go play these right now. They just might not have the graphical fidelity of this remake that you'd like. So it'd be really cool. I know it takes a lot of work and some resources and stuff like that, but to have your favorite games being remade is not technically a bad thing unless you're really just wanting a new IP from that developer. But getting your a game you love or a game you missed that was critically acclaimed, get a fresh coat of paint is really cool. I have that. I just re-downloaded the Final Fantasy VII Remake on my PlayStation. I played a couple hours when that released, but I just downloaded it again because that's not something you're always getting. I've never played Final Fantasy VII. I bought the remake. It's very critically acclaimed. People loved it. Had fun with it. Liked all of the decisions they made. So I think that's a good. I think that's maybe a good thing that I should try out some more. Something I need to play. It's more not exclusive, but you're just not getting stuff like that all the time, or getting the opportunity, to miss a classic game that people love. It gets remade, and you get to play the gussied up version or whatever it is. It's pretty cool. I think it's one consolation for missing the game back in the days. If something does happen to it like this, you get to play it again. It's kind of like the Last of Us Part 1 remake that came out last year in September. I love Last of Us. It's one of my favorite games ever. But I wasn't immediately jumping to buy the remake because I've played that game before. I've played through it at least once. And, I've played Last of Us 2. And it just wasn't as much of a quick trigger purchase for me, even though I love that game and it might be in my top 10 of all time. It's like I've already played this. I'm not generally replaying games a whole lot. I'm not generally finishing games a whole lot. So, you got to pick and choose out here. But either way, Dead Space Remake has been really fun, and I will probably have some more to report back to you on that next week. I've had some other games mixing in here, so I'm just doing the whole juggling, balancing act of amazing games right now, which is fun, and part of the reason I'm doing this Dep Lewis Show, to talk to you about all these cool video games and how I don't think you could ever play all of them and play everything that's cool and see everything that people like. I think it's almost infinite out here with these video games. Alright, so moving forward, the next game I've been playing this week, I gotta say this is probably the main game I've been playing this week, and it's something new that I purchased. I finally copped this on the Xbox, and that's Hogwarts Legacy. The game that does not come with any controversy. Everyone's just happy to play this, happy to buy it, happy other people are buying it, happy other people are enjoying it, just having very neutral neutral opinions on this and just loving it. But I'm not going to talk about that kind of stuff. I'm playing Hogwarts Legacy. I'm a Harry Potter fan. I have 2 other friends that just copped this game recently too. One of my friends finally decided to cop because he bought an Xbox Series S, and that opened the floodgates in our group chat to buy Hogwarts Legacy. Everyone didn't want to hit the FOMO on the Hogwarts Legacy, so I got this thing downloaded. It was a 76.09 gig download. Just so you know, I have Google Fiber internet now, and that took 18 minutes to download, so I want to shout out Google Fiber for really impressing me with their download speeds and the internet usage. I've never had them before. Had them for, a month now, and it's really been pretty epic, and I do like to sometimes download and re-download games, so this kind of makes it a breeze, which is really nice and fits my lifestyle very nicely. So I just have some notes here about Hogwarts Legacy. I'm going to go down and tell you a little bit about what I'm thinking about the game. Professor Weasley is the deputy headmistress, so I like seeing a deputy in the game, so shout out deputy. Professor Weasley is a little bit suspicious of me, the main character. You get to choose your character name, and you get to pick your, if you want a guy or a girl, and you can design them and style them up a little bit. So Spencer Nightshade is my character. And you have to pick a first and a last name. So Spencer is from a Brandon Sanderson novel called Cytonic, and that series, and just thought it would be a really cool name. I have a really cool looking character. She got some glasses. You can put a scar on her face. The intro cutscene to this game was really, really amazing. It looks great. Avalanche is the developer of this game, just so you know. I'm just going to go down my notes here. Almost have my newts. But there's a game they played called Truth or Gobblegook. I thought that was funny. I like the word Gobblegook. Elazar is the character in this game, and that's a great name, I just wanted to say. I love a game starting by leaving a cave. So this game, you start by leaving a cave. They kind of show you some tutorial stuff in there. And then you dip out of the cave, and the world is there for you to begin your play. It's not necessarily like Breath of the Wild or Fallout, where it's completely open world right when you get out of the cave. But I thought that intro was a little bit reminiscent of that, and it made me think how many games start off with you being in a cave and exploring. The jumping off point of the game is when you leave that cave and you get to see the scenery and you're impressed and you're hyped and you're excited. But this was another game that starts off by leaving a cave. GiantBomb.com has their wiki, and they would have entries for things like this. I don't know if they have games that start in caves, but that's reminiscent of something I think you'd find on the Giant Bomb wiki. Just kind of a cool video game trope or thing to think about that you can, or commonality that you can parse together. And it's usually in a really good game. There's a lot of, I mentioned Breath of the Wild and Fallout 3, and I'm trying to think, I guess maybe even some of the Dark Souls or Elden Ring, you're kind of in a cave, but or I guess Elden Ring's more of a castle, but same kind of concept. Even, Elder Scrolls is one too. You start in a jail, it's that kind of same thing, kind of cave-like or a jail kind of thing, Sipping some coffee here, thank you. But this game has been really fun. The graphics are really good. I think you can really see the difference in it being next-gen only. I think you can kind of tell that, I don't know, it just looks really nice, and it looks next-gen. And, them possibly not releasing the prior-gen version, is saying that they need some more time to, I don't know what the word is, not prioritize or, I guess, refine or dial it down into where it can be presentable on the prior gen. But I think we're finally seeing the limitations of last gen more recently. I don't think it's 100% apparent, but I think we're starting to notice it. And then some of these games are not even having the option to play the old gen, at the start or maybe ever on some of these games. So I think if you've really been on the fence about buying a new console, this would be a really good time to do it. They're more widely available nowadays, and I think you'll just help yourself, run into less trouble with buying games and, their performance and wondering if you can play this game or not. I think it's a great time to jump in and buy a console. So that is the Dep Lewis Show recommendation here. The attacks in this game feel good. I like the counter you can do with Y. You get to get sorted into a class or a house is what they call them. So I'm a Ravenclaw over here. So if you'd like to join the Ravenclaw gang and support and tell me about what's going on in your Ravenclaw business and compare, please do. The Ravenclaw gang can be the official house of the Dep Lewis Show. So it asks you, I think it's 2 questions. There's multiple choice. You pick some answers and it sorts you. It gives you a recommendation based on those answers, but you can also change. I think you can pick whatever house you like, but I just wanted to be true to the game, and Ravenclaw is cool enough for me. So I decided to roll with it. But this game's been fun to explore the castle. It feels really cool when you get outside the castle and see some scenery. I'm excited for that because most of my experience in this game so far has been inside the castle, so I'm excited to get out there and see the open world, ride around on my broom. I think it'll be really, really cool if you can fly your broom into the castle and land, because I mean, it just looks cool. The castle is amazing and impressive, and if you're able to fly into there and fly out into the world, that's going to be really fun and cool and different and exciting, and I'm going to be hyped for that. So we will see. I like the roll the ball mini game. You start off by learning some spells, and it feels good to control that. I think that's using the Osseo, or I think that's how you say it, but you bring the ball to you, and it's like that game you play. It's like, not like maybe shuffleboard, but you're basically, you're pulling this ball and you're trying to get it close to the edge as you can, by stopping and releasing your control or your spell. So then the ball will keep rolling a little bit, and the closer you get it to the edge, the higher the points you get. So that was very fun and a cool mini game. I think that was the charms class you got to do that in. So very fun. And let's see here. Catching books in the library is cool. I just like this game seems kind of quirky and fun and different and unique, and you're not just generally doing, like, I don't know, it just seems a little different in its different style. You're shooting spells. This game's not very, like, violent or like gory or anything like that. It's just very cool. I like the exploring around the castle. There's stuff to do. You can use your, I guess it's Levioso. Not Leviosa, but you can do the spell where you illuminate things, and it'll show you stuff around the environment. That's very fun to just walk around and do and collect those pages. And yeah, I like the randomness of this game. The castle is cool, and I'm ready to see the outside world some more and explore that and see what it has to offer. But Hogwarts Legacy has been very fun. I think it's a refreshing style of game to play that we're not always getting. It really is kind of more just RPG, open world, kind of fun. Fantasy land, there is a little bit of a story and a little bit of a mystery there, especially just with my main character and that older guy that we went through the caves with, and Professor Weasley's kind of on our case. But the characters in this game are fun to talk to and cool. Whole world looks cool. I love walking around the castle, and I'm having fun with Hogwarts Legacy. I think we'll see this on the Dep Lewis Show Game of the Year list for 2023, possibly. Obviously, earlier in the year, it's going to be a pretty nice contender. But I just want to say, if you had any apprehensions about this actual game, not that some people are taking this stance in this game, for, like, I guess political reasons or personal or outside of the video game reasons. But as far as a game, this seems really fun and cool. And if you like Harry Potter, I think you'll be excited to walk around and see the world. I think they've done a great job of capturing the tone of Harry Potter, and it's a little bit of the whimsy in there. It's just fun and cool. And I don't know so much about cool, but I think it's cool. But really, really fun. Hogwarts Legacy. Go cop it if you'd like to. All right, so in the What I've Been Playing section, again, we're going to keep going down the list. Something that came out last week on the 6th, March 6th, for $9.99 was a DLC for Dead Cells called Return to Castlevania. I bought this on Nintendo Switch because I already own Dead Cells there. This is very fun. I need to make a point to find the outskirts of the castle. Yeah, so in the first level of your Dead Cells run, you can find the outskirts of the castle as a exit, and that is what will get you to the castle. You can see you go down a bunch of stairs, you see all these bats start flying, and then you kind of go into the Castlevania world, and that's been very, very cool. So I've been making it a point to find the outskirts of the castle on my first run. Another note to myself in this game, getting back into it, is to search the first level more and more before proceeding if possible. It's nice to get the quick bonus so you can go into those rooms and get the extra loot, but it's also cool, I know, to explore and find everything that the first area has to offer before hitting the outskirts of the castle, because I heard, even the outskirts I've died, but I've heard that getting into the castle is very tough, and you want to make sure that your character is equipped. So Dead Cells, I already kind of knew what to expect with the gameplay of Dead Cells, but adding the Castlevania stuff in there is very cool, just from a style and visual component. I love the shield you get. So I on my few runs, I've even replaced my sword with my shield and started bashing people, because it kind of acts like a sword a little bit, but that's not something I would normally do in a game, is try a different weapon like that and give up my sword, because that's usually my go-to in Dead Cells. But I was rocking the shield and a bow and really, really loving that. So I think I'm going to continue that trend for a little bit and see if I can have some success. I've thought about purchasing this game on Xbox just to get it running on the Xbox and be able to use the controller and that kind of stuff. But it's running perfectly fine on the Switch. The only consolation on the Switch that I think about nowadays is the Pro controllers. I don't like it as much as the PS5 or Xbox Series X controller, but it's nice having this game in handheld, and I did play some handheld, and that's kind of a thought more recently with my views on this. I should maybe just use the Switch a little more for handheld, but it's nice to have the option to be able to switch, but it's just noticeable missing your favorite controllers and stuff like that, but these are all very high level nitpicky gamer request kind of things. But Dead Cells Return to Castlevania has been very fun. I'm going to continue playing this some this week, and I need to think about something. Just thinking about it now for like end of the year game ranking. I guess if a set of DLC resonates with me enough and sticks around, then I think I could put it on my list. This is a $10 DLC pack, so it's not a whole new game, but Dead Cells only runs $25, but some new content in this game, so I think thoughts on it now. If I come across a DLC that I just love so much from a prior game, it has to really elevate over a new game would probably be what I'm thinking. But this Return to Castlevania DLC has been very fun, and I'll have some more to report back to you on that as well. I've just I got into the Hogwarts Legacy last week. I still got Fire Emblem Engage and Dead Space Remake going, and then the last two things I'm going to talk about in this section are some demos that I've tried. So there's been a lot of cool things out there recently to try, a lot of cool things out there recently to purchase, and there are even more cool things coming to purchase up soon. So this is the year of get your money and your time right, because if you want to play all these games, that's what you're going to need. So let's get into these last two demos I played. So I finally tried the THEATRHYTHM Final Bar Line demo. I played I've tried this a few times now, but I recorded some footage of it this week, and I really like this game. I believe it's $49.99, and you're watching a clip of this right now, and you're watching me just completely own this song and own these enemies, and it's very fun. I like the music, I like the controls, I like the style. I like all the unlocks that shows up after the game. I like the UI in this game. I like that it's $49.99, and I don't know. I think this is the game I just need to buy. I think I would really like it if I buy it, but I'm just a little apprehensive because of all these games. It is a $50 game, but I think I'm a rhythm game kind of guy. I really think I would get into a rhythm game. I played Rock Band and Guitar Hero back in the day. I have a Rhythm Heaven. What's that? Craving recently. I want to play some Rhythm Heaven, but this might be the perfect game to do. And I love the music from Final Fantasy. I never played a lot of Final Fantasies, but I've played some, and the music is always a highlight for me. I listen to their soundtracks sometimes just, on their own. So this game could be a purchasable game for me in the future. And if you have any question about it, or if you're wondering if it's cool, I think you should purchase it. I think you should. If you want to play a rhythm game and you like Final Fantasy, or even if you don't like Final Fantasy and just like music and want to try a rhythm game, I think this could be something cool to purchase. I think the controls are fun. I like the short nature of the songs that you get to play, and you really focus for that, that amount of time. It's really cool doing that. And you really will. You'll be bopping your head and moving your controller, and you'll be feeling the beat and feeling like you're making the song in the game. Like, I'm hardly even watching the battle. I'm just kind of grooving to the song in there, and hoping I get to the end. So it's really fun. I think it would be a fun thing just to be unlocking and playing all those levels. So THEATRHYTHM Final Bar Line demo. Obviously, it's very cool that you can go try the demo, so I recommend that. But I think I could safely recommend this game to you based off the demo. All right, so just to say, I guess with all these demos coming out lately, and I think it's a good trend. It's very nice. MinnMax was going over their favorite game demos of all time on their show this week. But another demo that I've played this week is the Resident Evil 4 Remake, the Chainsaw demo. And there is actually, if you subscribe to the Dep Lewis Show YouTube, you can go watch a Dep Lewis Shows Off Resident Evil 4 Chainsaw demo video. And if you are a ground floor tier subscriber on Patreon, which is $1 a month for the first 100 patrons, you can go watch the ad-free version of this video on my Patreon. So this is the second installment of the Dep Lewis Shows Off videos that I'm doing, and I chose to use the Resident Evil 4 Remake Chainsaw demo for it. I think I played through this demo at least 2 times. I probably played it another handful of times too, and just not completed it, but running around in it. I completed it on the Series X, and even the S on the Dep Lewis Shows Off. And I have noticed the difference in the visuals between the X and the S. I got the S a couple months ago, and I was kind of saying that I haven't really noticed too much of a difference, but I think this is a good example a game where you can kind of notice some things between the two, from having the 4K going on the Series X with, all the stuff turned on to the S not being able to run all those things. And I think you can just see some more colors. I think even the browns look, nicer and more realistic. But one thing I would like to compliment this game on, both editions, is the lighting in this game is amazing. And it just looks so cool. All the lightings and the shadows and all that stuff, super impressive. I heard Alana Pierce touting the textures in this game, and it's not something I would maybe initially be able to vocalize, but I think that she makes a good point that the textures in this game are very cool. And this demo is very fun. I can't believe I played it so many times that I did. And I even booted up Resident Evil 2 last night on my PlayStation and started playing through that a little bit and trying that out. But I want to buy Resident Evil 2 and 3 on my Xbox so I can have copies there. And that Raccoon City Edition thing is on sale for $14.99 right now, so that's something I'll probably pick up in the next couple of days. And the actual full release of Resident Evil 4 comes out on March 24, 2023. I've been watching Dan and Kayla play Resident Evil 6 on their Twitch, which has been very fun. It's been very fun to watch those two play Resident Evil. It's been getting me hyped for this series. And they were watching Creed 5 after, which was funny, and Dan was pissed about that. So just another side note. And then also when you play this demo, it just starts on a normal difficulty or whatever it is. But if you run the demo back and play it again, it gives you a chance of getting to play through it with a harder difficulty. So the first time I completed it on my Series X, it gave me this option for my second playthrough, and I did some of it, but I never completed it. And then the time I completed it on my S, it didn't give me the option after. So it might be something I want to try. But the intro scene you get to do, you get to learn how to move around, you get to learn how to explore, you get to get a gist for what you're doing kind of in the Resident Evil game. You're running away from guys, you're trying to kill them, you're trying to collect your resources, you're trying not to fumble, you're being nervous, and really, really fun. I don't want to spoil too much from the demo because you can go watch my Dep Lewis Show's off video, but it's very cool. And I think just depending on where I'm at with some other games before the 24th, I'll be purchasing this game. I will be purchasing this game at some point. I don't know if I'm going to get it at release date, but very, very cool. Very nice of them to make this demo, and I think the demo is actually going to help move some units because I think it's kind of putting me over the edge finally. I was already pretty positive on this, so go check it out. I think you can get that on Xbox, PC, or PlayStation 5 right now. Go get that demo. Obviously, go watch my video on Patreon or YouTube of it, but there was also a lot of other video game outlets were doing videos showing off the demo. So there's plenty of places you can go check this out, get some commentary on it. But I believe and I hope the overall consensus is, you should go play this game when it comes out. It looks like it's going to be amazing. So been really cool. Been having a good week of what I've been playing. I hope the next week will continue with that trend. I don't know if there's anything coming out I need to purchase, but I'm getting a nice little, I have a giant backlog of games anyways. I'm getting a nice little backlog of games from this year already that I have the option to play through, so it's very cool. So what I've been playing this week, I didn't play any Fire Emblem Engage. I played a little bit of Dead Space Remake. I copped that Hogwarts Legacy, so that's been the main thing I've been playing. I've been playing some Hogwarts Legacy. I got that new Dead Cells Return to Castlevania DLC. And then I played a couple demos, that THEATRHYTHM Final Bar Line demo and the Resident Evil 4 Remake Chainsaw demo. I also have the Octopath Traveler 2 demo downloaded on my Switch, and I want to try that at some point. So just another note there with all these demos. So that's going to wrap up the first section of this show. That was the intro and the what I've been playing section. So we're going to come back for the mid section of the show. The mid section is actually going to be a little bit light this week. There wasn't too much news out there in the video game world. And then we'll have our third section, the Miscellaneous Talk section, was going to have a little more content than usual. So please go take a break. We're going to come right back for the midsection of this show in just a second. Welcome back to the midsection of Dep Lewis Show, episode 23. Thank you for rejoining the show. This is the midsection where I talk about what I've been seeing out there in the video game landscape, the video game news, the video game happenings, the video game ether, the video game universe, and that's about it. So not a whole lot of news this week. Just want to run through a few things, and then we'll keep this show moving. But the first thing I've been seeing this week is a lot of PSVR 2 coverage still. It's kind of making me want to buy it, but I don't know yet. I don't know. I've never been a VR adopter. I've never seriously thought about purchasing it, but a lot of this content has made me be more interested than I ever have been. I like that it's accessible with the PlayStation 5. I like that it has one cord. The headset and the controllers look cool. I like the games that I'm hearing that are on there. It actually sounds like there's the usual smaller experiences, but it also seems like there's some giant experiences that are fun. Fire Escape's talking about playing Resident Evil on there, which I'm on a survival horror kick this year, and Resident Evil is one of those main franchises in that genre, and one of the franchises I'm most kind of looking for coverage and games and stuff about, and checking prices on the old games and trying to figure out which the best ones are. I've been kind of into the Resident Evil stuff lately, and then even Gran Turismo you can play on there, and they say it feels like a completely refreshed experience on both of these. So Dan Ryckert was even talking about on Fire Escape about wanting to buy a racing wheel so he could play Gran Turismo in the headset with a racing wheel, and it sounds very, very cool and fun. So I don't know, this a lot of money to buy this. It's $549 for the standalone PSVR 2, or you can $549.99, $550, and then it's $599.99, so $599.99, $600 for the Call of the Mountain bundle, which gets you the the Horizon Forbidden West Call of the Mountain game. I believe that's what it's fully called, and the height aspects and the sound cool. Yeah, I'm scared of heights, but this game has you climbing like Aloy does, and you're up there in the first person scenery, and it would probably be a pretty cool experience. But I don't know if I actually have the heart in me or the desire to pay this money for this or plan on paying for this, but I think I don't know if this will be the one that gets me or the next big VR thing that comes out that's going to make me want to purchase it. But just to let you know that this thing is sounding very cool. I don't really think I've heard anything too negative on it, actually, and I've just been hearing about it on podcasts. I haven't really watched any footage of it. I don't know how easy that is to do, but I should try to check out some YouTube streams of it. But PSVR 2 seeming very cool. I think you're able to buy it. I don't think there's a shortage on it or hard to find, I don't think. But I haven't seriously looked at trying to buy it. But go check it out if you want to. If you got $600 laying around that you'd like to dedicate to some video games, or then go cop it. And go say the Dep Lewis Show said it looked pretty cool, and then tell me about it. Email DepLewisShow@gmail.com and say, hey, you should go cop one of these. Or if you're just Sony out there and you're hearing this, world famous podcast, you can send one to the DepLewisShow@gmail.com. Hit up my email, and I'll give you all the deets on how to send me a VR2, and I would be very happy and dedicate some time and talk to you about it on this show. And another piece of hardware that I'd like someone to send me is a Steam Deck. That's the next thing that I've been hearing more and more about, and I've had interest in this since it first came out. But I heard Alex Navarro on Nextlander talk about this. He just copped one, and he said the shipping was very quick. So he liked that it made his decision to buy it. He was able to buy it and know he's going to get it soon. So that kind of makes the decision a little more fun, from my aspect, when it's going to show up soon. I still kind of want one of these. I think I would pick a Steam Deck over a PSVR 2 if I had to pick, just because I like the... it would be cool to have your whole Steam library, or the ability to buy Steam games and play it in handheld and have it on this cool console. But another pricey piece of hardware. It's $399.99 for the base model, so $400, and $649, so $650 for the top model, which has the 512 gigabyte SSD hard drive. I think is what it is. So it has a faster loading hard drive on there. For the there's three models. The base model doesn't have the SSD, but the mid tier and the top tier have the SSD, and then you're paying for more gigs on the top one. So I don't know. I don't necessarily have a huge Steam library, but a lot of the games on Steam, there's tons of games on Steam, and a lot of the games, I don't know if this would. My thoughts now are, hey, I wouldn't need this because I have a Switch. I can play like Splunky on my Switch and things like that. But you can't play Elden Ring on your Switch. You can't play Control or Resident Evil, or I don't know, any of these giant games that you can play. You generally think if you're playing on your TV screen, you can play these on the Steam Deck and they run flawlessly. I've heard the battery life is a little bit of a problem in the Steam Deck, but generally you're probably playing this at home for the most part. And I don't know if that would be a huge issue for me, but I don't know. As the year goes on, maybe I'll kind of think a little bit more on buying a Steam Deck. I like that it would show up in a week or two. And I like that it's a little bit less pricey. I can get a $400 base model. besides having to pay the $600 up there for the the PSVR or the top model. But I like that there's some variety in the pricing structure for the Steam Deck. But it seems very cool. I don't know what I would immediately play first on there. Vampire Survivors was the early seller, but I just think it's cool. I wish, if I had all the money in the world, I'd be copping these things and talking about them and playing them. So I just want to highlight to you in this mid-section here that I think they're very cool. So PSVR 2, Steam Deck, got some cool hardware out there. Go purchase if you'd like to and let me know how it is, and I can live vicariously through you like I do the rest of the internet. Like I'm looking up these YouTubes and podcasts and listening to it. But all very neat and just very fun. Great time to be a video gamer. I keep saying that. All right. The next thing we're going to talk about is the final thing in this section. So we really are being quick today in this mid-section. So you're not going to be smoking on too much mid today. But Starfield, the game for upcoming action role-playing game developed by Bethesda Game Studios and published by Bethesda Softworks, has received a delay. They're going to have a show now in June to talk about this game, though. So Starfield Direct is June 11th, 2023. And their official release date for this game now that has been delayed, I guess, numerous times is September. So September 6th, 2023, you can play this game on PC, Xbox Series X, or S. So sorry to the PlayStation folks out there. You gotta get your computer working or cop one of these Xbox machines. And I said my general take on this is okay. Please take your time. We have a million games, please. So please release a fully functioning game. Take the time you need to do it. Don't be worried about these delays, and just put out the best game possible, because I think that's the way you're going to have the most success. With as many great games you can play right now, no one wants to play something janky just because they're excited for it. Some people will, but I don't think that's a long-standing model to obtain. You want to release something high quality from the jump and really impress people and give people a real good reason to switch over from some of these other great games that are out there. Whether or not it's a newly released game or something in their backlog, there's endless things to play. And, Starfield's really got there's a lot of hype, and, with the delays comes more expectations that they're expecting it to be good. So you are putting some more pressure on yourself with these delays, but hopefully they're going to be able to deliver on this. And if you haven't heard Starfield is the first new universe in 25 years from Bethesda Game Studios, the award-winning creators of The Elder Scrolls 5, Skyrim, and Fallout 4, and this next generation of role-playing games. Set amongst the stars, you can create any character you want and explore with unparalleled freedom as you embark on an epic journey to answer humanity's greatest mystery. So, from a high level, it looks like Fallout or Skyrim in space. All these different planets, you got your spaceship, you can build a hub on one of these planets, I believe, and just looks amazing. Looks like it has a little bit of Mass Effect vibes in there. I'm going to be playing Starfield on day one. Whenever it comes out, I'm either going to purchase it or play it on Game Pass. I believe it is a Game Pass thing, which is very, very cool. So if you want to know what I'll be doing on September 6th, 2023, I'll be playing Starfield, and I'm excited for it. So not too upset about the delay. This is going to be a great year for video games. It's March. In May, we get the new Zelda. In June, we get the new Street Fighter. At the end of the year, we get, a new Spider-Man game. And then, in between there in the fall, kind of, September, we're getting Starfield. So there's other things that I'm missing as well. But those are the really top dogs that I'm thinking of in my head right now for my, yearly plan of release schedule stuff. So, for me, I'll have May, I'll have a big game. June, I'll have a big game. July, I don't know about that. And then August, I don't know about that. And then September, beginning of September, boom. You got Starfield, will take you into the, right before the fall, right before the big fall game that you want to buy. So, just very cool. And, I want to give them props for delaying the game. I think that's smart. I know it's probably not an easy decision because you want to get that money flowing in. You want to start recouping, as soon as you're able to. But, they're looking at the pros and cons and making the decision that delaying it is the right choice. And I hope it is, and I believe it is. And, good on you, Starfield, for, not being scared to make a decision, one way or the other. So I'm proud of you for that here on the Dep Lewis Show, episode 23. So that is going to wrap up this midsection of the show. We were very quick today. I was kind of playing more games this week than I was, looking at news. And I don't think there was a whole lot of news that dropped this week. I don't think you're really missing too much from this week. So, I'll be checking the news next week. I will be filling this section up, appropriately. So, come back next week for some more news, more hard-hitting news. Hopefully we won't have any more delays, but hopefully we'll have something cool to talk about. So we are going to wrap up this midsection now. We're going to take another break, and then we're going to come back for the miscellaneous talk section of this show. We're going to talk some video game podcast stuff and some Twitch stuff, and then we're going to get into sports. Sports is the main thing I want to talk about in this final section because I am salty as a mug. And I'm a little bit getting over the salt, but I had some pretty bad sports news for the one of my favorite teams over the weekend. Some news I am not happy about, a decision they made. So we will be back in just a second to talk about that. So hold on to your pants and your seat and your chair and everything, and come on right back for the final section of the Dep Lewis Show in just a minute. I will see you then. Welcome back to the final section of Dep Lewis Show, episode 23. This is the Miscellaneous Talk section. We're going to talk some video game podcasters and Twitch people that I follow and like and want to talk and tell you about, and then we're going to get into some sports. We have some very, very, very bad news to report in the sports world today, so I'm going to tell you about that in this section, so get ready for that. But first, we want to start off with some positive, great news. Some people I like to watch and follow, so I'm going to tell you about them as well. And the first one I want to highlight is Janet Garcia. She's from MinnMax and Kind of Funny. She does other freelance work. Her TikTok is really good. I like her Horizon Forbidden West opinions. And she's a pretty avid PlayStation gamer. She plays games with her family. And they replay stuff and play it together, and that's pretty cool. She's pretty funny and serious about games. And she's had a lot of good VR coverage lately. So if you want to see some PSVR 2 coverage, go check out Janet Garcia on social and all her all the options where you can view her work. So very, very cool. She keeps posting pictures of her after taking the headset off with a cool line on her face. But generally she has some positive things to say about the VR, and it's been persuading me a little bit. But Janet's a great addition to the MinnMax podcast. And, just any of her work is really cool. Her video game takes are nice and good and fun to listen to and informative. And even if you don't agree with them, Janet's putting out some good content out there, so go check her out. And then MinnMax Podcast, that's a great show once a week. And they have many other videos and community things they do too. So just go check out MinnMax as a whole as well. That's the main place I think of when I think of Janet. And then another person I love following in the video game world is Dan Ryckert. He's on Twitch. He does not Nextlander. He's on Giant Bomb. He has the Fire Escape podcast, and I've been watching him a lot play Resident Evil with his sister on Twitch, and I've been really enjoying that. His sister's name is Kayla. You can go follow her on Twitch as well. It would be nice to do. She likes to, her and Dan will do, twin streams where they have their both communities going on there and voting on things and trying to figure out what they're all going to do. So it's pretty good chaos to watch, and it's really, really fun. And just wanted to highlight that again. Dan Ryckert was also talking about this week on Fire Escape, or the last Fire Escape, of which podcasters he thinks he can beat up, and he said the only one he thinks he can beat up is Ben Hansen. So I thought that was funny. I wish I could I want to hear Ben Hansen's reply to that. I don't know if he's heard the Fire Escape cast yet, but it's very funny. And he said he would lose to Mary Kish, though. So I agree with that. I believe Mary Kish would beat up Dan Ryckert with their eyes closed. So just go follow those people. If you've never heard of them, go look up their work and their podcasts and their Twitch and all those type of good things. They're very fun to watch and quality entertainment. And that's all I just wanted to say about those. All right. So we're going to get into the sports world. And we're going to start with the heavy hitter this week. If you're a sports fan, you have favorite players. And you generally you can have more than one favorite player, but you're going to have one on each team. One player that is your favorite above all the others, that you're just extra excited to watch. You're extra excited to see what they're doing on the field. They're fun to watch. You like their style. Whatever it is about their game, you just get attracted to it, and maybe even think they're cool off the field. And it's just a complete package, and you're like, man, I'm really just glad my guy is on this team that I really like. And well, guess what? Sometimes that player gets traded. And this week, in a blindside move, unexpected move, seemingly a boneheaded move in my opinion, the Carolina Panthers have traded DJ Moore, star wide receiver, favorite football player of the Dep Lewis Show, to the Chicago Bears for the first overall pick in the draft. So we sent them DJ Moore and a few other picks, and in return we get the first pick in the draft for the Carolina Panthers. So I just want to say that I hated this move. I was dropping all sorts of F-bombs on the Panthers. I guess it was Friday that I heard this. When was it? When was that terrible day that I heard this? It was Friday. And I just never expected it. I expected us to possibly trade up to get the first pick, but I never thought we'd be giving up DJ Moore. He got paid, an extension, but it wasn't anything outrageous for what his services are. He's been one of the only bright spots on the offense. He is not the only receiver remaining, but he was our top dog receiver remaining. I don't know who we're going to have catching the ball now. We got Terrence Marshall Jr. We don't really have a strong tight end. We don't have any other receivers. We haven't signed Foreman yet, so I think all we have on offense is Chuba Hubbard and the rookie running back to catch things. We don't have a quarterback yet. That's all in theory. We haven't drafted the quarterback. He hasn't hit the field yet. He hasn't had success yet, and we traded away DJ, and it hurts. That was probably one of the worst free agent things that I've had happen to me as a sports fan. Last year at this exact time, within a few days, Freddie Freeman, the Panthers trade for Matt Olson, which brings on the departure of Freddie Freeman to go to Los Angeles. So I'm going to have some PTSD from this time of the year now. For the last 2 years, I've been shocked by Freddie Freeman leaving the Braves and now DJ Moore getting traded away up to Chicago. And Chicago's not even going to be good. They got Trey Lance, which just seems okay. But, Chicago stinks. So, I don't know. I feel bad for DJ Moore getting traded. I hope he'll have success up there. I know they should be happy to have him. He's an awesome player. And, I had on my notes, but even before he got traded this week, I said I will buy a DJ Moore jersey before next season starts. I have I don't know if it's 100,000% or something, but now I don't even have that option. Just a sad, sad, sad day for the Carolina Panthers and the Dep Lewis Show. Our favorite player has been moved, DJ Moore. So DJ Moore, if you're listening out there, I'm going to miss you. He wrote some nice things on Twitter about the Panthers this morning. Some of his teammates were reaching out after and saying they were shocked and sad, and he was, I don't know, I think everyone was kind of shocked and sad by it, and I'm just sad. I live in North Carolina now. I was hoping to get to some Panthers games this year, particularly to see DJ Moore, so, whatever. I'll have to, at least I got Brian Burns still. If they can extend Brian Burns, that would make me happy. And I guess maybe he's my new, he slides into the top spot for my favorite Panther right now, so we will see. The Panthers, what else have they done, those stupid idiots? The one bright thing they did that I guess was a positive news to hear, or is positive to me, is that they restructured Shaq Thompson's deal, so he'll be around for 2 more years, I believe is the case, and I guess they're giving him, I don't know if they gave him a roster bonus or what they did with the money, but either way, it sounds like we're guaranteeing Shaq to be around for 2 years, so I'm very happy about that. I think the defense is going to have to be the star of the show like it usually is for the Panthers. I think right now with the way our offense looks, we could have the best defense in the league, and we would still have a 0% chance of, of winning anything. So the Panthers really have to make sure this first overall pick is going to be successful, and everyone knows it's going to be a quarterback, so which one will they pick? I don't have any speculation on that because I'm still too salty on the Panthers are trading DJ Moore, but I'm not seeing the vision right now with what they're doing, but that's about it. I said I'm sports heartbroken. I have 0 positive spin on DJ Moore getting traded. He's my favorite player. I always get him in fantasy football. People in fantasy football take him, so they have to trade him to me. It's been the case for years, and I always name my team after him, and it just sucks. And I don't like that he went to Chicago. I wish that if DJ Moore got traded, he went to a contender, he went to somewhere good. But hopefully he'll find some happiness there. I know he's going to be balling out. He's automatically their number 1 receiver. And, they at least have a competent quarterback seemingly, so that's nice for him. Chicago seems like a good sports town at least. Maybe some cool stuff to do in the city. I know he has to move his family and stuff like that. But, just see you later, DJ Moore. It was very nice having you as a Panther, and I can't believe they traded you. And, Tepper, I'll give you a middle finger for that. Scott Fitter, here's a middle finger to your face, too, for trading my favorite player. But we're going to see. This is a bad start to the Frank Reich regime, in my opinion. I'm not too high on Frank Reich either. But he is supposed to, they're saying, he got the quarterback he always wanted. He always wanted to get a young quarterback and be able to groom him and teach him. So we're going to see. So, the Panthers are going to be looking like some goofs. That's what I was calling them, the goof squad, if this doesn't work. If they bust on this first pick and, putting all the eggs in that basket. But whatever. I'm a fan, so I'm going to keep on watching. And it just hurts. I don't know how to, I'm a loyal fan, and I like these guys on my team, and I always have favorite guys, and I don't want them to get traded like this, but it just seems to be happening more and more. So I guess as I get older, I'm just going to be a grizzled old hard-nosed fan that's not going to give two shits about the players. But I don't believe that'll actually happen because I just don't think it's in my nature. But the sports world's trying to make me like that, trying to make my sports heart turn all black. But for right now, my sports heart is broken, and that's all I gotta say. So DJ Moore, I'm gonna miss you, guy. I'm gonna miss you a whole lot out there. All right, so Panthers. That's the main news from them this week. I had before all this shit happened, Jimmy G to the Panthers. I've heard some of that. Now I don't expect that. I wanted Lamar Jackson. I wish the Panthers would have just signed Lamar Jackson and kept DJ Moore and, tried to build that way, but whatever. But the Lamar Jackson news hasn't been handled yet. He's not getting blackballed, but they basically, the Ravens signed a non-exclusive tag on him, which opens it up. He can negotiate with any team to make a deal, but the Ravens have the option to match. But, immediately after that non-exclusive tag comes out, all these teams are saying now we're not in on the Lamar Jackson contract and deal. So Michael Lombardi, he's a prior GM, and he's on the Pat McAfee show sometimes and has his own podcast, and he was calling this lying season. So all these teams are just posturing and lying, and you don't really know what's true right now. They're putting feelers out. They're putting fake stories, false flags. People are hearing rumors and shit. So all that stuff's just brewing right now. But I think the Panthers' plans have changed pretty drastically with getting the first pick, so they're just trying to make that decision right now. I think the Panthers have a decent amount of picks in this draft, which is nice, so I'm just going to be a defense fan, and I'm going to try to be a fan of this new quarterback. I'm sure I'll be able to get on the hype train a little bit with a new quarterback, so we will see. I think I kind of want them to get that guy from Alabama. I think the guy from Florida and Ohio State possibly have some more clout. I don't know if I'm into the guy from Kentucky, but the guy from Alabama kind of sounds like he could be kind of the sleeper guy that people want. So I don't know. I think that sounds kind of cool in my mind right now, if I'm just making like a judgment call. But whatever. The Panthers, I'm not happy with you. So maybe next week I won't even talk about you. The official NFL team of the Dep Lewis Show. You're on warning. You're on notice. Thank you for keeping Shaq. That makes me very excited. Maybe I love buying jerseys, but never bought a damn DJ Moore jersey, but I'd like to buy maybe a Shaq jersey, but I don't even know if that's smart. So I don't know if I want to give the Carolina Panthers any extra money right now. So maybe I'll buy a jersey of another team, another sports team I like, and that I'm happy with their decision making recently. So we'll see. The Atlanta Hawks is another team, the official NBA team of the Dep Lewis Show, in contention a little bit now with the Charlotte Hornets, since I'm a North Carolina resident. But I don't have any Hawks news to report. I said they should trade everyone except DeJounte Murray, because all my teams trade everyone. So my Trae Young jersey will probably be a thing of the past. This is just me being salty here, but haven't really kept up with the Hawks too much this week. I don't get their games locally anymore. They're at the moment, so I've been trying to figure out the best way to watch sports in my new area. The main focus I'm trying to get dialed in on is baseball for March 30th. So I got to figure out something before then, and all these other sports are kind of ancillary to baseball for me. That's my top dog. But I still follow these other sports and watch and keep up with them a little bit. But I haven't been watching too much basketball lately because I don't have the basketball channels at my new spot, or I haven't paid for them yet. But the Charlotte Hornets are the team that I can see in person sometimes. They beat the Knicks in Madison Square Garden since we last talked, snapping their streak, so that was pretty cool. And I'm just mad. Yeah, I said I'm mad at the Hornets right now for being adjacent to the Panthers at this time. But the Hornets lost to the Jazz at home last night. The Hornets got the Cavs at home today. I think it's 5 o'clock. And then I think they play the Cavs again this week as well. So there's a few home games for the Hornets this week. Maybe I'll try to pop out to one of those if possible. And I actually popped out to the Charlotte FC match yesterday against Atlanta United. And Charlotte FC got whooped 0-3. But it was a very fun atmosphere there. They had everybody in the bottom bowl, so it was pretty full. I had a pretty cool seat to the game. And just Atlanta just really started scoring early. They scored like in the 4th minute, the 12th minute, and then like right before half. And then that was the end of the scoring for the game. The stats were kind of looking pretty good early on in the game. But, Charlotte just wasn't converting on their goals. But I'm a new soccer fan, sort of, and, just kind of having more fun with the soccer than, being invested like I am with the Panthers, where I have a lot of thoughts and opinions. But the soccer has just been fun to me to go watch, and I guess I am a Charlotte FC fan. I don't think they're very good, but I'm used to being fans of teams that aren't very good. All right, so my bright shining star of a team right now is the Atlanta Braves, the official team of the Dep Lewis Show. The Atlanta Braves, the official sport, Major League Baseball. My guys are going through spring training. I guess my number one favorite player throughout all of sports. Might have been before, DJ was up there, but I'm Ronald Acuna Jr. My favorite player. He's my shining star right now. I got to hold Ronald extra tight. Got to give him a hug. Got to hold him tight. Got to hold him extra close to my heart because you never know when these things will get taken away. So Ronald Acuna Jr., he's playing in the World Baseball Classic right now. And I think you might have been my top favorite player of all sports right now, but now you totally are. DJ Moore would have been the only guy really giving you a run. So Ronald Acuna Jr., let's please have an MVP season. Would be wonderful. Let's get the Braves back in great contention and make a World Series run is what I'd like. Max Fried's been looking good in spring. I want the Braves to extend him. Some guy on Twitter said that he thinks Max, and I've heard this from other people, will go back to West Coast. I think that would be sad. And you know what? I'm going to try not to be sad about it. I'm going to be cold-hearted, just like these teams. And, Max Fried, I don't care. Go to the West Coast, Max. I've only been a huge fan of you since you've been here and love your services and the way you play and all that kind of stuff. But, yeah, go to the West Coast. I don't give a shit. Trade him away. Get a first pick. Trade him for something, an asset we don't know if it's going to pan out or not. Just trade all these guys away. Who cares? Who needs these guys anyways? And that is not the truth. That is not the truth of the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show loves these players. Huge fans. Sorry they get traded. Sorry they get shitted on. Sorry that people are giving them shit in the media. Sorry they got to move their family. All that kind of shit unexpectedly. But it's just the business. And, I just got to keep getting used to the business. And because they're going to keep giving me the business. So maybe I'll start giving them the business back is what I need to do. But toughening up here as a sports fan is the main objective of this third section. And just shout out to DJ Moore again. I'm sorry you're going to Chicago. And I will miss you, Mr. Number 2, Mr. Number 12. You're one of my top favorite Panthers of all time, I gotta say. So just shout out to you, man. And I keep saying I'm going to miss him. That sucks. That was the worst sports news that I've had in a year. Besides, my team's losing and stuff. But, free agency news. I had to live a whole year without Freddie Freeman. Now we got to go through a whole year without DJ Moore. And the Panthers have zero other offensive, not zero. I don't want to keep saying zero because they have a few good players left. But they definitely need more. If you put their roster out there right now on the field, it would be the worst offense in the league. And that is, with a few of those players being good. But it's just the reality of the situation. So sports have been tough this week, so that is what it is. So that's going to wrap up this miscellaneous talk section. Thank you for listening to my sad sports talk and my angry sports talk. I will bounce back. I've been through this before. All these prior instances help you get through these. So, this is just fun sports world kind of fantasy land anger. But it is something I care about and like. So it does, I don't want to say affect me, but it is something I care about and think about. So it just stinks. But sports are fun. I'm not going anywhere. I love watching them too much. I like this. And this is great drama, regardless of if you like the outcome. And it's fun to watch. And I wouldn't, if I was saying I didn't like it, I wouldn't be this invested in it and talking about it. So whatever. Tough week for the Panthers fans and tough week for me on the Dep Lewis Show. So just thank you for listening to this show, though, regardless. I hope you enjoyed this whole show. If you're sad about DJ Moore, please email me at DepLewisShow@gmail.com. If you have any encouraging words, please leave them on this episode. Say a nice thing about DJ. Go wish him something nice on social media. Give him some tips for Chicago. That would make me feel better. So please go do that if you can. But this has been the Dep Lewis Show. This was episode 23. So if you could do some things for me, since I've just given you a whole episode. If you could follow Dep Lewis Show everywhere. If you could like, subscribe, rate, comment, review, turn on notifications, and tell a friend. Email any questions or feedback to DepLewisShow@gmail.com. Full episodes of Dep Lewis Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Patreon, and more on my Buzzsprout page. Clips are on YouTube and TikTok. And just thank you as always for listening. We'll be back next week for episode 24. And just shout out to DJ Moore. I hope you have a great week. And I hope you do too out there, loyal listener. And I will see you next week for another episode of the Dep Lewis Show. Thank you as always.